was on a business trip to discuss business. As soon as the plane landed, my brother-in-law Mingyan called me. He sounded impatient on the phone. I have a drinking party tonight. Come and help me drink. When you are happy, I will introduce you to some big bosses so that you don't have to look so poor every day. If my sister hadn't mentioned it for you, I wouldn't bother to call you. It turns out that my wife Lu Ruyan's credit is also due. I didn't want to go because of the jet lag. I accidentally posted my message in the family group, and soon received greetings from my mother-in-law and her family. Look at your little potential. You can only make a few cents on a business trip. This is a big boss. You are useless even if you are given a chance. Xiaoyan has gone, but you as a husband are unwilling to give anything. Lu Ruyan is very considerate. It doesn't matter if Chen Pingyan doesn't want to go. It will be the same if I go. Mingyan posted a group photo. Don't blame me for not warning you. It will only take a few minutes for me to change my brother-in-law. I looked at the photo and the man hugging Lu Ruyan in my heart. I just felt very familiar. This is the company I just acquired. Is that a manager in the group? The two of them are so blatant and don't hide it. I immediately sent a message in the group. Rest assured, I will be there on time. After hanging up the phone, I looked at the photo and fell into deep thought for a long time. Recently, Lu Ruyan seems to have changed into a different person. She no longer complains to me. Instead, she is as considerate as when we just started dating in college. Coupled with Mingyan's words about changing a brother-in-law, there is finally a reason for Lu Ruyan's recent abnormality. Lu Ruyan has hooked up with someone else. She is trying to intimidate me by calling me so blatantly and make me back off. I sneered and drove directly to the club they had booked. Unexpectedly, Mingyan was already waiting at the door, surrounded by a few decent-looking people with fawning expressions. Brother Ming is a real person who never shows his face. Why didn't you tell me earlier that you have such a good relationship with manager Li of Shun Company? That is, Shun Company is the leading industry here with unlimited prospects. Brother Ming will be manager Li's brother-in-law in the future. Don't forget him if you become successful. We have joined forces with them, and even Mingyan's boss, who he doesn't get along with very much, has come. I've long seen that you are an extraordinary guy, but I didn't expect you to have so much power. If I can get on good terms with manager Li, I will definitely promote you when the project is successful. Mingyan was surrounded by everyone, feeling very proud. I closed the car door and frowned at the scene in front of me. What they meant was that they all knew that Lu Ruyan and Li Dexin had an unusual relationship. They didn't know that Li Dexin's Shun Company had been acquired, and this Li Dexin didn't even know his own position. Could he keep it? Pingyan hurried over when he saw me. I thought he was guilty and wanted to give me a shot of prevention in advance, but he looked me up and down and frowned. I said, why did you agree so readily? Turned out that you were prepared. You're wearing a fake brand name suit. Are you just missing a set of clothes? A poor guy doesn't look like a prince even if he puts on a dragon robe. Don't think you can steal the limelight with your face. To be fair, Lu Ruyan and I got married because they liked my face. At that time, I had a falling out with my family because I resisted their arranged marriage. I ran away from home and met Lu Ruyan. I always thought we were true love, so I indulged Lu Ruyan's little temper. But over the years, her appetite has grown and she has become more and more dissatisfied. I want to give Lu Ruyan a better material life, so I want to return to the Chen family. For the past few months, I have been busy on business trips to prove myself. Finally, my relationship with my family has eased, and they agreed to come and see Lu Ruyan in person. I have paved the way for everything. If all goes well, Lu Ruyan will soon become the new heroine of the Chen family. My last important job is to acquire Shun Company. I just came back from a meeting at the headquarters, and the documents have been signed with Shun's general manager. Logically, Li Dexin, as the general manager, should have received the notice. I didn't expect him to make such a big fuss and host a banquet in the name of Shun Company. What's even more ridiculous is that this group of people I was joking with you, Lu Ruyan and other men didn't restrain themselves at all, and before I could say anything I was pushed by the people around Mingyan. Minggu is talking to you, why are you pretending to be dumb? You are a gigolo who is going to be kicked out soon. Why are you so arrogant? In an instant my face turned cold, and I looked at Mingyan the instigator. Mingyan asked your friends to behave themselves, but Mingyan sneered. Who are you to dare to ask my friends to behave themselves? To put it nicely, I'll call you brother-in-law. To put it bluntly, you are just a dog in our house, wagging its tail and begging for mercy. You'd better be sensible and just toast later, and don't make any sound. Good things are done, and you will get your benefits. And what he said made me curious. What good things are there tonight? What benefits can I get? Soon a waiter came out of the hall and asked if there were any members of the club. Everyone fell silent, and looked at Mingyan in unison, and Mingyan's face suddenly became embarrassed. Obviously he didn't have a member. Then I could see clearly that it was Lan San Club, a famous club. It's a member-based club, and membership is only open to rich or noble people. Mingyan is naturally not qualified, so this is the reason why they didn't go in. I couldn't help but sneer, which made Mingyan, who was angry, find an outlet. What are you laughing at? Don't you have to stand here with us? That's right, you are the most shabby here. Do you have the nerve to laugh? I think some people want to swell up their faces and pretend to be rich. The waiter looked at me along with those people, his face stern, obviously recognized me. He was about to come over to apologize to me, but I stopped him with my eyes. He stood back and his attitude was much more respectful. But at this time, Mingyan was shouting, my brother-in-law will be here soon, and he has members to take us in. This brother-in-law is naturally not me. But when they saw the waiter's respectful look, they immediately began to pretend to be powerful. It must be Brother Ming who has the power, unlike some people who are very annoying standing here. How can that kind of person be worthy of being Brother Ming's brother-in-law? It's not shameful to bring him out. Let him see the world tonight and realize the gap between himself and Manager Li. Soon I saw Lu Ruyan, who was dressed exquisitely and charming, got out of the car with a middle-aged man. The two were talking and laughing, and their behavior was very intimate. I understood inside. I had thought that Lu Ruyan and I were a couple, and we should part ways amicably. It seems that today will not end amicably. When she saw me, Lu Ruyan didn't change her expression. She rushed over as soon as she returned safely from a business trip. Thank you for your hard work. Let me introduce you. This is Li Dexin, President Li. I stared at them without saying a word. The atmosphere on the scene was on the verge of breaking out. Li Dexin laughed arrogantly. He came in front of me and grabbed my collar. Don't be like this. Think about it. If Lu Ruyan follows me, your life will be better. Otherwise, where will you get the money to buy brand-name clothes and cars? After that, he pushed me back and clapped his hands, as if he was contaminated with something dirty. Li Dexin has a good eye, much better than this group of villains. At least he can see come out, my clothes and car are real. I said in a cold voice, don't wrongly accuse me. I haven't spent a penny of Lu Ruyan's money. Lu Ruyan's face changed, and she shouted my name threateningly. As soon as she finished speaking, Mingyan came over and supported me. My face changed suddenly. He actually had a knife in his hand, and it was against the position of my heart on the back. From the eyes of outsiders, it seemed that we were good brothers. I said to Li Dexin, brother-in-law, you go in first, I have a good talk with this stinky stone. Mingyan pulled me to a corner, followed by his two followers, moved over here. He let me go and punched me without saying a word. I was caught off guard. I didn't react at all. I covered my stomach and half knelt on the ground. He picked up my hair. You really want to make fun of my sister's money? I tell you that money can't reach you. My sister has already given it to me. Our company is going to cooperate with Mr. Li on a project. Then I will be Mr. Xiao. Our family will be prosperous. If you'd better be smart, you should make room for me. Since you've worked hard in the past, I won't use force against you. I stared at Mingyan and laughed slowly. So that's it. From the shunned lineage, Li Dexin was worried that his position would be lost, so he thought of a second way, which was to invest in their company's projects with Mingyan, and then get together with Lu Ruyan as a matter of course. Tonight is the Hongmin banquet. Mingyan took my smile as a flattery. She nodded with satisfaction and then let me go. That's right. You are my sister's stain, and stains only need to stay in the dust. You should have a good toast with Brother Li later, and wish them a happy marriage, and the matter will be over. Maybe Brother Li will give you some breakup fee when he's in a good mood. At this time my mobile phone suddenly rang. I saw the caller was the president of Shun Company, Li Dexin's boss. I answered the call. Mr. Chun, in order to celebrate the successful signing of the contract, I will treat you to dinner tonight. Please do me the honor. I responded and immediately said respectfully from the opposite side of the basketball game, I'll be there right away. Before I could finish, my phone was snatched away by two followers and the call was hung up. Who did you call? And you want to call someone? I think you are not going to accept my toast and have to drink the penalty wine. I frowned and was about to take my phone back. But the next second my phone was smashed to the ground and I was pushed into the club and into the private room they had booked. I looked around. This was the smallest private room. There was already a lot of booing inside. Let's drink a cup of wine together. Let's drink a cup of wine together. Lu Ruyan's cheeks were rosy and her eyes were full of autumn water. She was leaning on Li Dexin. The atmosphere was ambiguous. Li Dexin saw me come in and waved at me with malicious eyes. Just as my ex-husband is here, come and pour us some wine. I understand the bad taste of this kind of man in private. Showing off in front of me makes him feel particularly accomplished, but I only looked at Lu Ruyan. Have you really decided about this true love that I thought I had met? Lu Ruyan pursed her lips. Chun Pingyan, you are very good, but you can't give me what I want. I closed my eyes and all the traces of past love were gone. Numbers flashed before my eyes, then slowly disappeared. 2 glasses of wine were stuffed into my hands, and I was held and handed to 2 people. Then I watched them drink the wedding wine. Lu Ruyan and Mr. Li are really a match made in heaven. Some self-righteous toads can finally recognize their position. It's that you are not even worthy of carrying shoes. It's time to go back to your position. Ping'an is very proud. I called you here to make you face the reality. This is a divorce agreement. Sign it quickly. I picked up the pen and looked at Lu Ruyan. I can sign, but you have to return my jade bracelet to me. It is my family's heirloom jade bracelet, passed down to my daughter-in-law and the next generation of the Chun family's hostess. My mother repeatedly warned me that this was passed down by my grandmother and must not be lost. Lu Ruyan's eyes shook. Then she lowered her head. I lost the jade bracelet. I quickly asked where you lost it. The next second I realized that Lu Ruyan was lying. I followed her gaze and saw that the jade bracelet was placed in the brocade box on the table. It was obvious that I was going to give it to Li Dexin as a favor. Naturally, he couldn't admit that he gave my things away. I was immediately anxious and quickly signed the divorce agreement and went to take the bracelet on the table, but the next second my wrist was grabbed by someone. You little thief, you actually dared to steal things in front of so many people. I think you are crazy because of poverty. He signed the divorce agreement and has nothing to do with my family anymore. Hurry up and catch me and send me to the police station. In the chaos, I could only see the jade bracelet in front of me. Ever since I can remember, my parents have been very busy with business, so the Chen group has developed to a huge scale. I was brought up by my grandmother. The woman from the Jiangnan water town was my entire childhood. When she died, she only left this jade bracelet. She was so haggard, but she still smiled at me. Chun Ping'an should be happy in the future and be with a woman who shares the same feelings with him. Now I have lost my grandmother and a woman who shares the same feelings with me. I can't lose this jade bracelet again. Several pairs of hands grabbed at me. Someone even stepped on my hand, not wanting me to get close to the jade bracelet, but I didn't care at all. I struggled forward, and the next second a hand picked up my jade bracelet. I looked at Li Dexin with a smile on my face. This jade bracelet is nothing. A poor man is a poor man. He has never seen the world and treats everything as a treasure. It's okay for you to insult me, but why do you insult the things left by my grandmother? I was almost shaking with anger. I signed the divorce agreement and have nothing to do with Lu Ruyan anymore. I'll give her to you. Don't touch my jade bracelet. Li Dexin sneered. What do you mean by give it to me? Why do I need you if I can't get what I want? As for this jade bracelet, I don't think it's worth much. I'll compensate you now. After saying that, he actually raised his hand high and smashed the jade bracelet to the ground. After a crisp click, the jade bracelet shattered. I was stunned where I was, feeling cold hands and feet, and laughter came from all around. Look at how embarrassed he is, like a dog. He is so shameless and still talking about giving it up or not. That was Mr. Li's daughter. Is it enough? Not to mention the jade bracelet. This money is enough to buy your life. Li Dexin was throwing the money vigorously when suddenly, there was a group of hurried footsteps outside. The door of the private room was suddenly pushed open. A dignified-looking, well-dressed man walked in front. It was the boss of Shund. Li Dexin's expression froze. Mr. Zhao, why are you here? Mr. Zhao looked at everything in front of him, with shock and a tremor in his voice. Li Dexin, what are you doing? I was pushed to the ground and couldn't make a sound for a while. Li Dexin walked over quickly and explained respectfully. I'm entertaining my girlfriend's friends. There was a blind man who insisted on stealing things and was caught by us. Li Dexin explained lightly, and people around him also began to follow him. He dared to steal in front of so many people. He is a habitual offender and is so bold. It was thanks to Mr. Li's magnanimity that he did not send the thief in immediately. It is rare to find such a good person as Mr. Li. In my opinion, we should get rid of them all quickly. Be careful not to pollute Mr. Zhao's eyes. Lu Ruyan also greeted Mr. Zhao and said, facing Li Dexin's immediate boss, his cheeks were slightly red and he was very elegant. This was the best time of our relationship. A scenery I had never seen. I felt mixed emotions in my heart, and more of it was regret. I regret that I did not recognize it earlier. This relationship was never as indestructible as I thought. Li Dexin seemed even more high-spirited amid the compliments from the people around him. Everything around him was his bargaining chip. After Shund Company was acquired, Mr. Zhao must have new plans. Li Dexin was obviously also moved. Mr. Zhao, who wanted to curry favor with his boss, looked at everything in front of him, frowned slightly, and just said in a cold voice, I want to entertain guests, you guys should be quiet here. Don't let others think we in Shund are all a bit rustic, which leaves a bad impression. Li Dexin said quickly, I understand. Mr. Zhao's distinguished guest must be of noble status. How can he let others see such a dirty and trashy side? Mr. Zhao just nodded and said to the secretary beside him, the gifts are ready. Let's go to see Mr. Chun now. Li Dexin seemed to have grasped the keywords. Mr. Chun, is it Mr. Chun from the Chun group? When he asked this question, he was very enthusiastic and even his breathing was a little wrong. Mr. Zhao smiled. Your dog's nose is still so sharp. It's the young Mr. Chun of the Chun Group. This person has just taken office from the grassroots, but he is a hot prince. Let's get on good terms with him so that we can lean on the big tree for shade in the future." Li Dexin laughed even hotter and hotter. He rubbed his hands and asked you to introduce me. I also have a gift here. It's a few years old and it's just right for Mr. Chun. As he spoke, Li Dexin waved his hand behind him, indicating that these people should deal with me quickly. Before he could speak, he was blocked by someone and his hands and feet were trapped. Mingyan and Lu Ruyan. Some were tidying up their clothes, some were putting on makeup. Such a grand look is really rare. Li Dexin has always been humble and respectful to Mr. Zhao. Mr. Zhao nodded and agreed, saying, "Well, you can help with the socializing. The lazy work is getting more and more perfunctory. He doesn't even lead the way to find Mr. Chun. He doesn't know yet. It was me who asked the lazy waiter not to disclose my identity." As he said that, Mr. Zhao took out his mobile phone and dialed the number. Of course he couldn't get through to me. My phone was just broken by Minan's friends. Mr. Zhao's face became more and more ugly, and even a little uneasy. Why didn't Mr. Chun answer the phone? Is he dissatisfied with us? His words made everyone in the private room uneasy. At this time, these people carried me and finally came to Mr. Zhao at the door. Mr. Zhao's face suddenly changed. He looked at me in disbelief, opened his mouth and couldn't say a word for a long time. The people who carried me were still nodding and bowing to Mr. Zhao. "Sorry, let you see, we will throw this dirty thing out right away. Please bear with us, we move quickly," Li Dexin urged impatiently. "Hurry up and don't let Mr. Chun see it." Just when I was about to be thrown out, Mr. Zhao finally came back to his senses from the shock and found his voice. "Wait, put the man down quickly." Mr. Zhao's voice was chaotic and almost broke. Almost like a conditioned reflex, I was thrown to the ground. Li Dexin was very confused. "Mr. Zhao, don't you like thieves and want to clean them up?" Mr. Zhao had no time to pay attention to him. He came to me quickly and helped me up. "Are you okay? Are you hurt anywhere?" Mr. Zhao's attitude made Li Dexin and others more and more uneasy. He finally squeezed out a smile. "Could it be that this thief is someone you know? This is really a misunderstanding." At this point, Li Dexin also found something wrong, but he didn't realize how wrong he was. Mingyan and Lu Ruyan also had doubts on their faces. They exchanged a look. Lu Ruyan thought for a moment and shook her head at Mingyan. It seemed that she couldn't figure out how I knew Mr. Zhao. In fact, I had never revealed my identity to Lu Ruyan. First, I felt that we loved each other and we valued each other as individuals, which had nothing to do with identity. Second, because I had seen too many couples in the circle who looked harmonious but were actually alienated. I didn't want Lu Ruyan to feel pressured and let identity become an obstacle between us. I didn't expect that I was so wrong like death. In the silence, a loud slap broke the silence. Mr. Zhao gritted his teeth, and his voice was filled with anger like thunder. What on earth had Li De done in his heart? Li Dexin was almost staggered by the slap. He couldn't believe that the person who slapped him in the face was his boss, who was always calm and confident. What happened to Mr. Zhao? Mr. Zhao turned around and bowed deeply to me. "Mr. Chun, please forgive me. I really didn't know you were here." Otherwise, he wanted to explain, but he didn't know how to explain. The prince of the Chun Group, whom he was going to invite to a banquet, was caught by his men like a thief. Verbal insults were not enough. He was slandered as a thief and even beaten. The always elegant Mr. Zhao was so anxious that he broke out in a sweat. "It's Mr. Chun, right? Did you recognize the wrong person?" Li Dexin covered his face. His face turned pale in an instant, and his pupils shrank sharply. The people next to him also spoke with a stiff upper scalp. "That's right, this is obviously your sister-in-law. How could that cowardly ex-husband be Mr. Chun? They just happen to have the same surname. A thief is a thief, and he even fooled Mr. Zhao. Yes, the divorce agreement has just been signed. How is it possible?" As he was talking, someone handed the divorce agreement I just signed to Mr. Zhao. As soon as Mr. Zhao saw the signature, his face was visible to the naked eye, and his hands began to tremble. Of course he could recognize it. After all, I signed the acquisition agreement with exactly the same myself. Mr. Zhao's face was uglier than crying. "What is going on? Are you right? What did Mr. Chun do?" At this time, the waiter arrived with the manager of the Lansai Club. He should have thought about it and felt that the matter was serious, so he reported it directly to the manager. The manager smiled as he entered the door. What happened? They were all crowded at the door. If there was any lack of service in our basketball game, the next second he saw me, his face changed abruptly. Li Dexin looked puzzled with a slightly flattering look. "Manager, why are you here?" According to the level of the box they set, they originally could not see the manager of Lansai. The manager of Lansai did not pay attention to Li Dexin. Li Dexin was ignored like this, and his expression was quite displeased. He walked quickly to me, lowered his head very low and said in a trembling voice, "Mr. Chun, what's wrong with you?" There was a pin drop at the scene and you could hear it. If Mr. Zhao might have recognized the wrong person, then the words of the Lansai manager were the best proof. In an instant, Li Dexin was like a chicken with its neck pinched. His face swelled red, and he looked at me fiercely, so fast that I almost thought he would break himself. Neck, and everyone else also looked uneasy. Mingyan and Lu Ruyan's faces were no longer ugly. Mingyan muttered to himself, "How is this possible? How is this possible?" Lu Ruyan lowered her eyes and looked at me from time to time with an incomprehensible look in her eyes. I sat on the chair and finally breathed a sigh of relief. "Zhao Shun, your Shun company, your subordinate is really amazing." I smiled and looked at the farce in front of me. The cold sweat in Mr. Zhao's room instantly flowed down. It must be a misunderstanding. It's a misunderstanding that I didn't know about today's events. In one sentence, Mr. Zhao cleared his relationship with Li Dexin. Li Dexin didn't expect that Mr. Zhao would be so decisive, and didn't even say a good word. Li Dexin's smile was uglier than crying. How arrogant he was just now, how humble he is now. Mr. Chun really has a misunderstanding. I really didn't know it was you. Behind Manager Lan Sai, there was a group of tall and strong bodyguards. Compared with them, the people brought by Mingyan were simply not good enough. They had shrunk into a ball and their atmosphere was shaky. I didn't dare to move. Soon, the bracelet left by my grandma and my broken mobile phone were found. I touched the bracelet and felt scared. I almost couldn't protect the things left by my grandma. Mr. Zhao almost had a heart attack. He scolded Li Dexin. "I think you are crazy. Who is Mr. Chun to be able to steal your things? You should explain yourself. Apologize to Mr. Chun quickly, or I will never let you go." Li Dexin nodded and said yes repeatedly. Then he stood in front of me with a bitter face. It was Mingyan, that bastard, who deceived me. Otherwise, I would not be deceived. Don't worry, I will terminate the cooperation with him tomorrow. You are a magnanimous person. Don't hold it against me. As he said that, he picked up the wine glass on the table and poured 3 glasses of wine in a proper manner. He didn't dare to say anything more and drank them all without hesitation. In fact, this was already a very standard apology with enough sincerity. I just looked at Li Dexin without saying anything. Seeing this, Li Dexin gritted his teeth and picked up the bottle. "I know these 3 glasses of wine are not enough. I will show you my sincerity." After that, Li Dexin drank the whole bottle of liquor. In the empty box, only the sound of him guzzling the wine could be heard. He was choked, his face flushed, and he coughed heartbreakingly. He didn't even dare to ask anyone to hand him a tissue or a glass of water. I saw Li Dexin was crying and his ugly appearance was exposed. After a bottle of wine, he held his throat and kneeling on the ground, shivering in great pain. I looked at everything in front of me with a calm face. When Mr. Zhao saw that I didn't say anything, his heart sank and he just sighed. Seeing this, the lazy manager hurried to smooth things over. "Isn't it true that there is no acquaintance without fighting? It's all right if the misunderstanding is resolved. It's all right if it is resolved." I glanced at him lightly, and he didn't say the rest of the words. This level of acknowledgement of mistakes, especially for someone in Li Dexin's position, is not even enough. Manager Lan Sai's voice changed in surprise. "Mr. Li, what on earth are you doing? What did you do wrong?" Mingyan's chest rose and fell rapidly, as if he was afraid of something, and as if he was angry. He gently pulled the corner of Lu Ruyan's clothes. President Zhao's heart was also beating fast. He hated this group of people who were incapable of doing anything and were more likely to cause trouble. His acquisition case must not fall through. She gritted her teeth and was about to speak when a soft and weak voice sounded beside her. "What is Chun Pingyan doing? You scared me." Lu Ruyan walked towards me gracefully. She had a delicate face and looked even more charming after dressing up, but her eyes were slightly red now, adding a hint of pitiful temperament. "I know she is beautiful, otherwise she would not have been married and caught Li Dexin's eye, using her beauty as a weapon to climb up." Lu Ruyan took my arm. "Why are you acting like a coquettish like before? You made the atmosphere so tense. Think about it, haven't you done anything wrong? This is strange. I was insulted and then beaten this night, and it was all my fault for the slander. I humbly ask for advice. What have I done wrong?" Lu Ruyan bit her lip, her eyes moving. "It's because you have been hiding your identity. If you had said it earlier, wouldn't there be these misunderstandings?" I looked at Lu Ruyan in surprise. I just felt that she was so strange at the moment. Lu Ruyan's eyes were moist, and she looked like crying. "You didn't say it because you didn't trust me. You think I am a woman who only cares about money, right?" As he said, he wanted to get into my arms. I stretched out my hand and pushed him away. In his surprised eyes, I chuckled. "Until today, I finally see it clearly. Lu Ruyan doesn't love me at all. He doesn't even love Li Dexin. He only loves himself, loves people who can bring him benefits. Otherwise he wouldn't abandon me first and then betray Li Dexin. I actually thought we were true love. I have been planning and calculating for him, even against my own nature, going home to give him the best life. Now it seems that I am really a joke." Lu Ruyan, "If I am not Chen, the successor of the group is just an ordinary person. Chun Pingyan, do you think I can still sit here and listen to your nonsense? You said you are not a woman who only cares about money. Talk about feelings with me. I threw the divorce agreement heavily in front of her, looked at her with a smile, and watched her face turn from cute to panic. Her face was pale and bloodless. Have you forgotten that before you asked me to accompany you for drinks today, the divorce agreement had been drafted and signed? You cheated on me during marriage. In order to please him, Lee Dasheen gave him the jade bracelet left by my grandmother, and called me to accompany him for drinks, throwing my face on the ground for everyone to step on. Oh, by the way, he also slandered me as a thief. My voice was so loud that you could hear a pin drop in the private room. Zhao Shun and manager Lan Sai finally understood my anger. They trembled all over and lowered their heads, not daring to say another word. Those fox friends and dog friends of Minnan who had been rampant before were all on the verge of collapse. You always have to fight for what you want. You pay the price for your actions. Just as I finished speaking, there was another sound of footsteps outside the corridor. My secretary finally arrived, and he also brought my personal bodyguards with him. Mr. Chun, I'm sorry, we are late. Then they moved quickly and took all the lackeys out. For a while there were wailing everywhere. Manager Lan Sai bowed to me with a sullen face and apologized. Mr. Chun, I was confused and talked nonsense. You are magnanimous. Don't bother with me. I will show my sincerity later. After saying that, he waved his hand and took away all the bodyguards. Before leaving, he kicked Lee Dasheen. You idiot, you are going to kill me. Taking people away means you are handing the place over to me and letting me deal with it at will. He will never interfere. Mr. Zhao sighed. Lee Dasheen, you have been fired by Shund Group. The resignation process will be simple. From now on, you have nothing to do with Shund. After saying that, he bowed to me. You go on with your work, Shund, and I will wait for your notice. Mr. Zhao also left with his secretary. When he walked in front of Lee Dasheen, he shook his head. A misstep will lead to eternal regret. Lee Dasheen was in such a mess that he wanted to hug Mr. Zhao's legs, but he kicked him away. He was finished, everything was over. He curled up on the ground and kept knocking his head on me with such force that blood instantly appeared on his forehead. Mr. Chun, I know I was wrong, I really know I was wrong. It was all because of them, the brother and sister. Lee Dasheen seemed to have grabbed the last straw. It was them, the brother and sister, who deceived me and instigated me. Otherwise, how would I dare to do anything to you? At this time, Mingan's boss was also trembling with fear, and knelt on the ground with a plop. I knew it was like this. Mr. Chun, Mingan had always been restless. He scolded Mingan in a harsh voice, with panic and hatred in his eyes that could not be concealed. Mingan, you have also been fired. You have nothing to do with the company anymore. For the previous cooperation, you can just wait to pay the penalty for breach of contract. I waved my hand and had someone take Mingan's boss out. In the box, only Mingan, Lu Ruyan and Li Dexing were left. Mingan stiffened his neck, as if he still couldn't believe what had happened. I didn't mean it. I don't know. After saying that, he pulled Lu Ruyan and said, We are a family. Please forgive my willfulness this time for the sake of being a family. Lu Ruyan also slid to the ground in embarrassment. She looked up at me, her face full of tears. Jin Pingon, I know I was wrong. I just took the wrong path for a while. Please forgive me for the past. This time we can be the same as before, isn't it okay? At this time, Lu Ruyan's cell phone rang. She wanted to hang up the phone, but she didn't know how to press the button. When the call was connected, the voice of the ex-mother-in-law came from it. His voice was eager and excited. How is it? Have you sent away that waste? Has he signed the divorce agreement? Is Mr. Lee satisfied? Ex-mother-in-law. As soon as the voice fell, Lu Ruyan and Mingan looked dejected. The meaning of his words was that their family had been planning for a long time to send me to Lee Dasheen to humiliate me. I chuckled. I signed the divorce agreement, but Mr. Lee didn't look satisfied. He sounded puzzled. Why did you, a waste, answer the phone? Don't you will pester our Lu Ruyan, right? I tell you, you better be sensible and get out of here quickly. Don't ruin Lu Ruyan and Mr. Lee's good things. Mingan couldn't listen anymore, and he was instantly furious. You old man, don't talk, shut up. Lu Ruyan also screamed, Mom, don't make trouble. The ex-mother-in-law screamed and rebelled against you. Are you all crazy? Mingan picked up the phone and smashed it on the ground. The splashing fragments cut her face and blood flowed instantly. I stood up and looked down at the farce in front of me. Lu Ruyan, we are divorced and will have nothing to do with each other from now on. Take care of yourselves in the future. After I finished speaking, I left. There was a sound of heavy objects falling behind me. The three people seemed to be fighting in a ball, blaming and attacking each other, but it had nothing to do with me. Let the assistant go and get the divorce certificate as soon as possible to avoid more trouble. Later, Lee Dasheen and Mingan's cooperation case fell through, and their boss was also fired. They paid a lot of liquidated damages. Lee Dasheen was reported for using his position to commit economic crimes. Was taken away on the day of his resignation. Mingan lost his job and was in debt. He was chased by loan sharks all day long and couldn't even go home. The last time he showed up, he was beaten beyond recognition. Lu Ruyan was labeled a mistress and was caught by Li Dexin's wife and beaten up in public. By the way, the house they lived in was also taken back by me. Lu Ruyan had to move out of the house with her mother-in-law in disgrace. He later came to Chan Group to find me, wearing the clothes we wore when we were released from prison, as if to evoke my memories. I was surrounded by a group of executives and walking out of the building. Lu Ruyan was isolated outside and couldn't get close to me at all. We all returned to where we should be. Later, someone told me that they saw Lu Ruyan in the bar. She seemed to be accompanying people to drink. She was often bullied and lived a miserable life every day. I smiled and treated it as listening to a stranger's story. If you don't seek death, you won't die. If you make the wrong choice, you must accept the consequences. This is the consequence they deserve for their greed. The full text is over.